What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator with me, the Virtual Mechanic, and today's a beautiful project, the Mercedes-Benz 300 SL, more commonly known as the beautiful Gullwing. This is one of my favorite cars of all time. No offense to you, Mustang, you are definitely top of that list, but this is definitely 100% top 5, probably even top 3 if I'm being honest, but this is unattainable. It is worth way too much money nowadays. I don't think I will ever be able to get one of these, which is a bit of a shame, but what a legendary classic this is. Once the fastest production car of all time. Obviously, it's been beaten many a time since then, but let's get into this one. Let's talk about it. This is the Mercedes-Benz 300 SL. It's got 205,000 kilometers on there. We got it from the half-decent auction house, and everything is above 50%. It's not too bad at all. And we know we got a good deal from the end of the last video of 11,951. We bought it for 56,153, and already it's appreciated in value. I could sell it for 68,104, making a profit of 11,951, which we definitely like to see right at the very beginning. It means regardless of what we do with this, we should always be in profit, which is definitely what we like to see, especially considering I don't see this one potentially winning a drag tournament with the i6 M186 engine with 250 factory horsepower. We will be putting performance parts as much as we can all over it, try and increase the power of this beautiful little Gullwing, and then we will go to the drag strip and race in whatever its category is and hopefully win at that tournament and take all of the winnings. Be interesting to see where this one ends up and what kind of opponents it'll be facing today. So this is what we're going to be working on. Absolutely beautiful. Before we jump right into this, the competition has now finished for the Bolt Reptilia R6. As you see this video, we already know who the winner is. It's already been announced, but I don't know quite just yet who it is. Obviously, recording this a day in advance. So we'll get into that a little bit later on. But the new competition, by the time you see this, will already have started. We'll be voting for whatever car we want next. And I'll give you a little hint. It's a lovely little collection of mod car Nissans. Yep, all of the Nissans. 5 different Nissans for you to choose from. 4 Skylines and 1 370Z. So get in there, vote for whichever one of your favourite is. The vote for that closes midday on Sunday, and then we'll get into the competition and start building some cool ideas, whatever one we end up with. So let's crack on with this one. We need to get this beautiful little beast over to the car wash. I know it's not very dusty or dirty, but still, it's nice to give them a good clean from the start. Here we are then in the car wash. Let's just get on with it. Clean do you go. We can see your yellow, and I'm pretty confident you've got at least most of your body panels on there. So let's get the interior done. As soon as it wants to load, there we go. We'll get it back on the lift. We'll get that engine ripped out. We'll get everything stripped down. There she is. Let's check for the oil pan. There is a big old oil pan, and I love how that engine sits at an angle there, looking beautiful. But let's get all that oil drained. Is this as well looked after as all the other Mercedes? That is lovely clean oil in there. It definitely is. Mercedes owners are definitely looking after their vehicles. Let's get in and let's get this engine ripped out of here, starting with the drive shaft. Out you come. Nice and easy. Nothing overly fancy on this exhaust today. Does that clip round at the end? We'll check it in a bit. Just nice and straight really there. But let's get the rest of this one out. Out you come. Where is the fancy little starter? Just down here. Out you come, and then out with this gearbox as well. Now, I've got a sneaky feeling we're going to have to take all of this front exhaust section out, which we'll do in a minute before we rip the engine out. So we'll grab all of the exhaust from out of under here. Out you come, out you come. Is that everything? Just the... Oh, no, there is... There we go. The little angled rear muffler there, sitting it nicely. We'll grab this battery while we're here, and we'll also grab the fuel pump. I can't do anything with that fuse box for now, but let's try and rip that engine out of there and see what we've done. In fact, we'll go grab the crane, because I am going to remove that exhaust section, just to be on the safe side. In fact, should we click the crane first and see if it's needed? We'll do that. It's not needed. Okay, so we didn't need to do that. Glad we didn't waste time doing it. So let's jump in and see what we got in the engine bay. Big old radiator at the front here. That needs all its liquids drained. We've got a brake servo, which also needs the liquids drained, and the wishy-washy reservoir, and then that fuse box. We'll just grab the lid off of that one, and we'll come back to it later. Is anything missing? That's part of the engine, so no, there definitely isn't. Okay, nice and simple. So, get all the liquids drained out of these 3 here. Nice and simple. Additional tools, a drain tool. Click and hold on the container, and I'll be back in a bit with all of this stripped down, ready to work on the bodywork. That's everything on the Gullwing, repaired, replaced, or upgraded, ready to go back on all the mechanical stuff, at least. But we need to work on this bodywork, so let's get it all off. Let's find out what's what here. Obviously, that's a hood there, some headlights. We definitely need them. And a front bumper pulls out the license. It does indeed. And this apart. No. Out with them doors. Beautiful, beautiful doors. What have we got around here? Rear body window or left body window. Rear bumper and the rear lights just here. Out you come. And then that beautiful trunk and the rear window. What is that? Don't know. Fuel tank? No, don't know. No idea what that is. But anyway, let's carry on around to the right body window. Nothing on there. That was just showing me where the wheels were. And I think that's about it. Oh, the mirror. Nearly forgot that lovely little mirror just there. Now let's jump in and grab these beautiful, beautiful seats. Out you come, out you come. And that lovely, gigantus steering wheel there. Out you come as well. That will just be going in a bang as it was because it all matches the interior perfectly. And it is stunning. We will not be colouring that today. But is that everything? 1% on there, that's always a good sign. And nothing on there. Absolutely fantastic. Let's get this beautiful thing repaired. Go into this. Frame at 50%, not too bad. I bought it for 56,000. I think it should sell for a lot in realistic terms, but I don't think it will. So I'm going to say 1,000. 2,000. Okay, I was way off. Way, way, way off. Let's get that all repaired. While we're here, let's just check out the body shop. We know there's no additional body parts for this one. It is just what it is. Like for like, straight up. I imagine I'll probably get most of this repaired. Just have to replace the windows, the lights, and that lovely little left-sided mirror. There is no right-sided mirror, so don't think it's missing. That's how it came. Only the driver needed to see back on his side of the vehicle. So let's get all of that repaired. Well, as much as we can. Replace what we have to. Get it back together before we head over to the paint shop to check out the Gullwing liveries. Right then, and let's get this beautiful Gullwing all back together. We'll just start at the front with the headlights. Now, apparently with the hotfix today, something is fixed with these headlights. I've no idea what it was because I hadn't built one before, so I didn't know there was anything wrong with them. But never mind, on with the front bumper, on with the hood there. And we've got the left mirror, and then on with these beautiful, beautiful doors. In you go, in you go, in you go with all the windows. Let's just get them all in. We'll go all the way around with them very quickly. We'll get that door in. Window and a window. That's all of the windows done. Then just down to the back, then we got the trunk, the rear bumper, and then these beautiful little headlights in there. That should all be it for the bodywork. Again, not 100%, but we'll crack on. I went for the VM plates, Gullwing written on them today, so it is unmistakable that this 300SL is, in fact, the Gullwing. Let's just get it down on the front plates. There we go. And then we've got the beautiful replaced interior, because you can't repair interior, so that is one thing. I think that should be added. You know, like, you can get interior repaired. You can get seats restuffed. You can get stitching redone. You can get them all cleaned. I think repairable interior should be a thing in this game. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. And if enough of you people agree, we'll take it to Red Dot and see what they say. But let's crack on in with them seats and that beautiful, beautiful steering wheel there. Absolutely massive steering wheel. That should be everything all back together. Let's give it a check. That's not the screen I wanted. There we go. 100%, 100%, 100%. Fantastic. Let's take the Gullwing into the paint shop and see them liveries. Here we are then in the paint shop with the beautiful Gullwing. Definitely not keeping it this mustard yellow. That's what I'm going to call that. I don't think it is mustard yellow. But let's check out the liveries. We've got this. That looks grey. I wouldn't say that's black. That's like a grey sort of colour there on the livery. But you do have the Mercedes badge on the front with that beautiful off-centre stripe, which I quite like. With the number 6 on the side, the Mercedes-Benz badge again at the back with the 6 at the back, and then a 6 on the doors. Don't know why the number 6. I'm not fluent in Mercedes-Benz racing. I'm assuming there's some heritage edition that's number 6 or something like that, but I don't know. Let's check the rest of them out. Then we got it in that dark red there. Doesn't look good on that yellow, does it? Let's carry on. Lovely little white, and then a yellow. Okay, is there any more? No, that is it, just the 4. I don't know what I'm going to do with this one. Let's have a look at the factory colours. That's not bad. No, I mean, most people will either do it this colour or this colour. They're the two most prominent colours, I believe, for a Mercedes-Benz Gullwing, but not what we're going to go for. That pink. Love a bit of metallic pink. Not today, though, sadly. We may come back to this with a Gullwing at some point. That's not bad. That's a bit dark. What else have we got? Definitely not red. No, don't want that one. I think if any of them, it would be that, but I'm not particularly fond of it, so I'm going to pick my own colour. We're going to mix a few together, see what I like, see what I come up with, and I'll meet you guys in a little while when we'll get all of this back together. We'll get it painted. I'll show you it quickly before we move on to the next stage when we get it all back together. So give me a few minutes. Well, here's what I've gone for. This sort of, I'm going to call this blue silver because I quite like it and I don't know what colour to call it. I just played around with some styles until I found something I liked. With this sort of dark grey, it's not quite black, but we'll call it dark grey on that stripe there. Looking absolutely beautiful. I haven't changed the colour of anything else it all will be staying as it is. That interior looks perfect in the red there. We've got some of that blue silver on the dashboard, and that looks fantastic in there. And then obviously the grey carpet in the back. Can't do anything with that, but looking great. Engine bay, very, very blue. We obviously expected that, but we've got a bit of red what you can play with. We've got that blue silver and this lovely grey up here looking stunning. This is the colours we're going to go for. I need to get everything painted, and then we'll get this one back on the lift and start getting it back together. Looking good up in the air in a blue silver. I keep calling it blue silver. I know that's not really the name of this colour. What would you call this colour? Let me know in the comments below. I'm going to stick with blue silver for the time being, but I know it's not that. So let's get on with this suspension. On with the shocks. We got that dark grey on the shocks with the blue silver and the dark grey on the cap there. Looking very, very good. Pleased with them. Just something a little bit different. I've not gone for many blacks on this one at all today, which is very, very bizarre. But let's start getting it all together. The cross member in that grey. Then we got the steering rack and the sway bar, if I can get it, in the blue. The front steering knuckles in that grey. And then the inner tie rod grey with the outer tie rod in the blue. Congratulations, you got it right. Both suspension arms are in that blue, and I think it looks really good. I'm very pleased with this silver blue or blue silver, whatever I keep referring to it as. So let's get them in. Looking good. And then on with that shock, and I really do like that shock. I think it looks beautiful. Sway bar end link is in the grey. It is a much lighter grey, although it doesn't look like it because of the way it colours. I've used 2 different shades. In fact, I think I've used 3 different shades of grey on this one to sort of get the colours to go how they want, so they look like the same. They're not quite black. They're still very dark. Knuckle covers in the blue, and I've just noticed the bushings. Let's get them in before we forget them. In you go, and in you go. Then we've got the front wheel hub. This is also in that much lighter grey colour, as you can see there, but it still comes out dark because of the metallic-y finish. Wheel hub bearing in. Then we've got beautiful brake disc. The hub cap is in that blue, just to finish it off. Brake discs, and then what colour do you think the calipers are today? They're a chrome red. Why not? The interior's red. It looks fantastic. I love a bit of chrome red on there. It's a bit darker than normal. The interior's a bit dark, so I've gone a bit of a darker shade on it. Hopefully it looks pretty good, but let's jump down the back. There we go. The coil with spring rear drive axle is in that lovely blue. Looking very good in there. Then the spring cap in the grey with the spring in the blue, matching the shocks at the front. Fantastic. In you go. The shock absorber is in that same grey, the plastic grey that goes on the front shocks there, so it really does match and looks fantastic. Solid control arm in the grey coming off of there with the plate in the blue, and then the 2 U-bolts both in that grey as well. Looking very, very good. Very pleased with this one. I think it looks very good. Hopefully when we get it all in and all together at the end, it will look fantastic. Knuckles in that lovely grey, and then this steering set, this setup here is almost identical to the front, except it's got a rear drive axle in there, which is in that lighter grey, but comes out dark. I really do think I've done quite a good job of matching them greys. It's not too bad at all. It is a little off, but not too bad. On with the brake disc, and then we got the brake pad, and that chrome red brake caliper on there as well. Looking absolutely stunning. Not that you'll be able to see it through these rims. They're very solid, and I'm definitely keeping them on this one. Fuel tank, we've kept that one in the grey with the fuel pump in that lovely little blue. A lot lighter because it's a plastic part finish. If I did the shocks, it would have come out about the same. So looking good on there. But let's crack on. Let's get the rest of this all together before we move on and get the very small engine bay all sorted, and then move on to building that beast of an inline 6 there. I'll see you in a bit. Oh, there's that suspension all finished in the grey and the blue, and with slight little splash of that chrome red. Looking beautiful. Very pleased with that. Do let me know what you guys think of this in the comments below. I think that looks beautiful in this colour. But let's move on. It's time to get the engine bay sorted. I don't want to do that. That's part of the engine. So the wishy-washy reservoir, up you go there. And then the brake servo in there with the radiator in that lighter grey, but it is still a little bit too dark. You see, it's not quite the same colour. Could just be the lighting, but it's about as light as I could make it without it looking standard. But there we go. Let's jump down the back. I've got the trunk open. I've got half of the fuse box in that blue, looking good. Let's just get the cover on top there, along with that battery in. And that is all of the engine bay sorted, apart from the bits that go with that engine. And I love the trunk there with the fuse box just dotted in it, looking fantastic. But let's move on. We'll leave that open because we've got to go and build that beautiful i6. In we go. Now, with the quality of life mod, what I've done is this isn't on a paint everything setting. This is on a base setting, and the block stays the same color and it just paints these few little bits dotted in. That bit is painted as well. It's just a lot darker, and that's the sort of color we're going with, and that sort of matches the gray, so it kind of works. Then you got the oil pan in that lovely little blue, and all of the internal gubbings are all in. So let's crack on and get some of this stuff on here. We got an oil filter down here in that blue just because it's coming off of the grey there. Let's move on around. In fact, let's just go straight in with that cylinder head. In you go. Cylinder head, engine head, whichever. It is in the blue. Some of the outside is in that metallic-y element, and it is a slightly different colour, but it still looks absolutely fantastic. We go down here. We got the water pump on here in the blue, looking very good with a water pump pulley on there. We can't do any more with that until we got a bit more done above. So we'll do the alternator, and this is just force chromed. As people are thinking, it already looks chrome, but I wanted it to match some of the rest of the chrome that I have put on this engine. So let's crack on. Down the back here, this is a fuel filter in its standard colour, and these two ignition coils are both in their standard colour as well, because we want that red and a bit of the dark colour on there. Looking very good. Let's get the internals of this engine done then. We've got rocker arms. In you go. There's one of them. In fact, there's three of them. I lie. Then you've got a camshaft that runs all the way down the top with a cam gear on the top. And then you've got some, I forgot what these parts are called, camshaft caps maybe. Four of them are going on top. So I'm going to get all of them in along with these 6 spark plugs. And I'll see you in a moment. Almost done. Got most of it in. By the way, these are called camshaft bearings. And there is 4 of them. That's it on there. You can't put the head cover on until we've got some more down here done. So let's get that timing chain in. And then we've got 2 little sprockets just in here. In you go. And in you go. Then it should allow us to pick the timing cover. Now, this piece here, I did try and paint this in the blue, but it did not work. And if I force chromed it here, it would have looked awful. So we got it in the lighter grey, hopefully matching it. Matches into the block there, and I think it still looks pretty good. The crankshaft pulley is force chromed out to match in with that alternator there. Then we've got 2 lovely little black belts on here. It's going to let me put the fan on. There we go. And then the fan, I've also done that in the force chrome. There are a few chrome elements to this engine, so let's talk about them and get a few of them on. The fuel injection shaft, I've kept that in its own colour because the mechanical fuel injection is also in its own colour there, looking good. I liked the reds on it and also a splash more of chrome. That's why we kept these pieces here chrome, looking very good. The ignition distributor, there we go, that is force chromed as well with the rotor not coloured and then the cap in that grey, which is the darker grey because it paints all right on there. With the 2 clips in the lovely little blue. In you go and in you go there. And then we'll get this cylinder head cover on. Don't know why it's a cylinder instead of an engine, but never mind. That is in the blue, looking pretty good on top there. Very pleased with that one. In you go, and let's work some more of these pieces. The exhaust manifold in the grey. The rest of the exhaust is in that grey as well, looking good. Manifold cover in the blue. It's a bit darker, matches in with the cylinder head there, looking good. And then the intake manifold is chromed out as well. Now, it does sort of come in a performance chrome, but it was a totally different chrome to the rest of these pieces. So I just had to change it out to make it look a bit better, especially with these ignition wires, because I've kept them as they are, and the chrome on top of there is incredibly shiny. I wanted the red, that's why we left them. So I wanted them 2 pieces there to match, as they were going to be pretty much at the top, and I think I've done quite a good job. The throttle in there is in the blue. Sort of patting myself on the back there. Sorry about that. It's a weird thing. Anyway, the air filter's also in that blue. The air filter base, sorry. The air filter's just normal. Then the cover on top in the blue with the little hose in the middle in the grey. Now, this one is the 3rd colour grey to get it to sort of match in with the rest of the greys on there. Not too bad. Looks all right. Plus, we've got this little clip in here, which is also in that grey. And that, I believe, is it for this beautiful Inline 6 engine. Get some pictures, we'll get it dropped off the stand and put it in our beautiful Gullwing. See how good it looks inside that engine bay, then we'll crack on and get the rest of it finished. There it is, all finished, pictures done. Let's get it dropped in. And I just want to say, this is probably the first engine that I haven't painted a lot of the parts on. I mean, that's 6, sorry, that I can see right now that I haven't painted. I don't normally not paint that much. Feels weird, but it looks good. So let's get it in the car. Over we go. In you go. Are we going to be too short to see this one? No, that looks beautiful. That lovely chrome piece on the top there with the 2 blues on there. If we nip round to the other side, you've got that chrome piece there with a little bit of the red showing. Looking very good in there. Pleased with that. That looks fantastic. Very, very good. Let's get it up in the air and get... In fact, before we do that, I just had an idea. This bay here is incredibly empty. If anyone could fill it in with some paintable rolled steel or something, that sort of cuts in line with that, comes up and then curves around and goes back down. That would be absolutely beautiful as a bonus part for this car, in my opinion. But there we go. Anyone fancies making that, you'd be an absolute legend in my book. But let's get underneath. We've got some more to do on this beautiful little car. I'm going to go there just because I want the gearbox, and now I can't get it. There we go. Now, the gearbox isn't painted. It seems weird, but if I go up here, it sort of matches the block, and that's kind of what I was going for. Every time I tried to paint something on it, it didn't look right at all. I mean, I've sold this gearbox twice now and bought a plain one and just left it as it was because I couldn't get a close enough colour to that. It was bizarre, but then if we go underneath, it's like a totally different colour. It's weird, but never mind. In with the starter in the blue, looking good on there. Then we got this drive shaft, which we have done in the grey there. On we go. Once again, a much lighter grey because it goes a bit metallic-y, but looking good on there. Let's get all of this exhaust in then. The front exhaust section, this is all grey, so I'm just going to not click on the tyres there. Middle exhaust bar, in you go. And then that rear muffler on there. And that is everything on this car apart from the wheels and the liquids. Let's get down. How good does that exhaust look sticking out the back? Pretty good. I'm quite pleased with that. Nice little sort of dark grey. Same colour as the racing stripe. And it's on the same side as the racing stripe as well. So that works out quite well on there. Pleased with that. Absolutely fantastic. I'm going to get some windows tinted, some liquids topped up, and some beautiful wheels done, probably in that dark grey. And I'll see you outside in a minute with this car all finished off. Here we are then, all finished with the beautiful Gullwing, looking absolutely stunning in that blue steel with the grey, dark grey livery running slightly off-centre with the Mercedes-Benz badge in there, and down the back as well, with a couple of number 6s dropped on for good measure. Just close that door so you can see it. Open it back up again. Looking beautiful. But let's talk about these rims. I love how these turned out. I think they look absolutely fantastic. These are obviously the 300 SL rim, not the Gullwing rim. The interior is all named Gullwing, and the rims are named 300 SL. So just bear that in mind when you're searching for the parts. It might be a little bit harder to find, unless you use the shopping list where you press X on your keyboard or mouse and it adds it to the shopping list. But there we go. These rims are the 300 SL. The fronts here, these are an 18-inch rim I've put on there. And obviously you can see they've got the vintage tyres with the blue stripe instead of a white stripe on there. And they're in that dark grey. 18-inch, 245 width at the front with a 50 profile on there. And ET of 40, just to bring this one out a little bit further than it was normal. It's tucked a bit further inside the fender there. So just enough to bring it out a little bit further, make it look a little bit better. Down the back, it is the same size rim with an 18-inch, but it is a 265 width with a 50 profile and a no ET needed at the back. It comes out far enough on its own. Looking very good in there. I like this little feature with the battery and the fuse box in the trunk. I think that's quite cool. And if we just run down to the front, that engine looks absolutely stunning in there. Very, very pleased with that. But let's jump inside and see what this brand new i6 sounds like. Looking beautiful in here with the red interior, the red doors, everything like that. It looks absolutely stunning. And that just hint of that silver blue on the dashboard looking great. But let's get it started up, see what she sounds like. Bit of a quiet tick over there, can't really hear a lot. Not the best noise in the world, but not bad. Still liking the sound of this little beast. But let's get this tiny little monster onto the dyno, see what its horsepower is and what its drag rating will be. Here we are then on the dyno with the 300 SL, aka the Gullwing. 250 factory horsepower from that i6 engine. All of the performance parts today. How much have we added? What's this one's drag rating? Let's take a look. A gain of 171 horsepower, 69%. Nice, liking that. Bringing our measured horsepower up to 421 horsepower. Not too bad considering it only started at 250. With a lowly drag rating of C, 248. That's pretty low, let's be honest. Probably going to be a bit of a weird one on the drag strip today, maybe a little bit too long, but we'll find out in a minute. Let's go check out the gearbox tuning setup for today. I've gone for a 2.8 ratio with 80 kilometers an hour in first gear, up to 289 in top. Not that we'll quite reach up that high, but it should be pretty good nonetheless. There's no ECU on this one, no carburetor, so no additional tuning. It is what it is. Let's just get onto the drag strip and see how we can do. Well, it's time to get the Gullwing onto the drag strip with its vintage tyres. Probably not the best choice, but never mind. King of the Sands, 1 mile C-Class. Hopefully we can do all right. 600 entry fee, and not too bad. Who have we got today? Well, our first race straight in is against French Toast in the Edgewood Wildcat Blaze. Good a choice there. Dead Bob's in the BMW M3 E46 Pandim. I haven't even seen it yet. let alone build one, let alone race against one. So that's pretty cool. Who else have we got here? Alenticlope Bomthrop edition, not quite the fastest. Who else have we got? Country Thang in the GT350R, and that seems to be about it. Sorry, French Toast, I hope you don't beat us in our very first race. And if we do win, potentially our second race is against Dead Bob. So there we go. The Edgewood Wildcat Blaze, let's get into it. See if we can beat it with the Gullwing. Love to see French Toast on the drag strip. It's been a little while, my friend, especially since we've raced each other. But there we go in your Edgewood Wildcat Blaze. Should be pretty good. How will it compare against our beautiful little Gullwing? Let's find out. Let's go. Off the line. Come on, I just don't want to see it pull away from me early on. Into second. Come on, little Gullwing. You can do this. Into third. Might have been a tiny bit late on that gear change there. Oh, it looks like we may have left him behind, so that is a good sign. Sorry, French Toast, leaving you on the start line like that. Into top gear. Let's see what sort of times we're going to get. What will be our quarter of a mile? What will be the 1 mile? And what will be the top speed as we get across the line? This isn't quite that slow. It's actually pretty good. I don't normally come outside here, but why not for a bit of fun? That Edgewood Wildcat's miles away and across the line. What did we get? A 12.486 seconds to the quarter of a mile. Not too bad. Almost a second faster than the Edgewood Wildcat there. And to the 1 mile, 30.981. Just over 30 seconds. Not the greatest at all, but well and truly beating French Toast there. Sorry, my friend. I didn't mean to beat you, and you also got a much better start off the line than we did as well. So there we go. First opponent down. Let's see who's next. Please don't be Pain. Okay, game, I didn't mean it that much. It would have been nice if Payne made it through into the next round, but never mind. Our next race is against the Bolt Reptilia DR, the drag racing version. Who else has gone through? Country Thang is still in the Ford Mustang. Shelby GT350R, pretty good. We need to see if we can beat this drag racing Bolt Reptilia, though. Let's get in. Let's find out. Looking good in the white with that bug catcher sticking out of the hood there. Quite pleased with that. Looking fantastic. Nothing compared to our beautiful little Gullwing today, though. Looking stunning. Can we beat the Bolt Reptilia? Let's go. Off the line. Come on, little 300SL. You can do it. Into second. He's pulling away. This isn't a good sign. Into third. Come on. We need to get in front of you. There we go. Oh, no. No, that was a gear change. Oh, this is close. I like this. Is he pulling away? I think he is. I think we might lose in the second race. Bit of a shame, but it is what it is. That is a pretty good car. Obviously, we're in a much lower category, but for the category, that is definitely a good car. Let's just get across the line and see what we can do. There we go. What are the times on this one here? Sadly, we've lost and we are already out. But a 12.552 to the quarter of a mile. I can't even see. Not as good. Not at all. Not even close. And a 31.028 to the 1 mile. Not as good as our first run there. Speed is exactly the same at 268 kilometers an hour, but we lost. We are out. We'll do one more. We're just going to do a 1v1 so we can get at least 3 times down for a good representation of what it is. What a shame we lost. Let's go see what's happening and who's going to take the crown in this one today. Country Thang is still in the Shelby against the Hinata Kagura SX. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. And we also have a Nissan 370Z Nismo in there as well against the Bolt Reptilia. Let's see how everybody can do. Here we go. Country Thang. Country Thang is in the final against the Bolt Reptilia DR that knocked us out. Let's see how this goes. Come on, Country Thang. You can take the victory here. Be a good name for the Ford Mustang Company. There we go. Congratulations, Country Thang, at taking the win there. We did take some money for winning our first race of 450 credits, but it does sadly mean we are still down 150 credits. We'll go do a quick 1v1 and see how we can do. One more quick race then, into a quick 1v1 at 1 mile. We do 3 randoms as we normally do. 1, 2, 3, and we are against the Jeep Wrangler XJ off-roader, but it has got a much better drag rating than us and better tyres. I mean, that's my own fault. I could have put slicks on it and we probably would have been all right. But let's see what we can do against the Jeep Wrangler. Well, once the fastest car ever designed and built, sadly only managed to get through 1 round of a drag tournament, and now we're up against an off-road Jeep Wrangler by a random chance. Can we beat it? Let's get inside. Let's go. Off the line. Come on, little Gullwing. You can do it. Into second. Pulling way away. I did think this would be the case with the Jeep Wrangler. Into third. Yeah, well and truly gone into the distance. Let's just see if we can get a good time down for our very, very last run for this beautiful little Gullwing. Into top gear. I'm pulling close towards the wall, but I don't want to shift it. Take some time off of you. pulling into the center a little bit more. So we're not going to do that. We're just going to hope we don't hit it and get across that line and see where we end up. If we can even make it, that's close. There we go. Across the line. What are our times? A 12.591. Is it any better? No. Our first run was the best with a 12.486. 31.050 to the 1 mile. What is making all that noise? Probably that Jeep somewhere. And the 30.881 was our best time to the 1 mile with a top speed of 268 kilometers an hour. Let's get back to the garage and let's say goodbye to the beautiful Gullwing and see what we've got next. Well, here we are then, all finished with the Gullwing. Bit disappointed by the drag times there, but not too bad at all. With a quarter a mile time of 12.486 seconds and a 1 mile time of 30.8981 seconds, and a top speed of 268 kilometers an hour. Pits it 35th on the speederboard out of 37, and I can now safely say 4 of the bottom 5 cars are Mercedes-Benz, which is pretty bad. I'm hoping that the final Mercedes-Benz can do a little bit better than that. But it is what it is. Let's talk some facts and figures about this beautiful little car then. We bought the car for $56,153. And we could have sold it for a profit of $11,951, which wasn't too bad. But then we spent another $49,388 on parts, upgrading and modifying, tuning and replacing parts for this beautiful, beautiful Gullwing, putting our total spend at $105,541. Beautiful interior in there. Absolutely love this car. It is stunning. Yeah, with a total spend of $105,541. The real question is, though, can we make a profit from this beautiful Gullwing? Let's take a look. Well, there she is, all finished, 205,778 kilometers. I don't think I added too many with testing and drag racing today, but it is all 100% complete with that engine wrapped up to 421 horsepower, a gain of 69%, thanks to all them tuning parts. Could be a little bit more if you threw an ECU in there as well. You'd be able to jump up a little bit higher on that one. But the real question is, can we make a profit with a spend of 105,541 and a sale price of 180,941? Definitely leaves room for a little bit of profit in there. 75,400 to be precise, but we are down 150 from the drag strip. So it's actually 75,251 from the little Gullwing. Now, I know Pie's going to find it a little weird that I'm going to sell this one, but I am. There is our mod one to come very soon as well. So off you go, Gullwing. Absolutely fantastic. Really enjoyed that one. What have we got up next? I mean, you already know, it is the last of the Mercedes-Benz. This is the Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG. This is one of my favourite cars, and it does have Gullwing doors. It's kind of like the rebranding of the car we just did. Absolutely stunning. I love this car. Another one of my dream cars, definitely top 5. We did get this one from the... Where did we get this one from? Is this from the semi-decent auction house? It's in terrible condition if it is, but it's got no dust on it. That's what leads me to believe that, but there we go. I think I might have got this one from the semi-decent auction house. I can't really remember. It was a little while ago. But there we go. Quite bad condition, everything on there. The engine in this one is the V8 M159 engine with 558 factory horsepower. This is why we saved this one for last. This is the highest horsepower of all of the Mercedes-Benz cars from factory. Obviously, people are going to tune and tweak their own versions, and some of the configs that you can get from the Steam Workshop will be much more powerful and things like that. But from the factory, from the DLC, that is the fastest one you can get. Did we get a good deal on this one, same as we did the Gullwing? Wow, we actually did. Very shocked about that. All 3 of the Mercedes before these 2 were a big loss. 2 25s and a 12 nearly. But there we go. 41,838 is what I paid. And I could sell it for 45,037, making a cheeky little profit before we begin of 3,199. And I'm always happy with that. This is what we're going to be working on next time. This is the end of today's video. I do hope you did enjoy it, and if you did, please consider clicking that subscribe button, leaving a like, leaving a comment. Let me know what you think of all of the Mercedes, some of the wonderful other cars we build, and any suggestions you might have for future builds in the comments below. And also, if you can hit that subscribe button, it will really help us out. Trying to hit our next target, which is 500 subscribers, and we've got until the 19th of February to do it. Come on, guys, you can do this. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day, whatever you're doing, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.